Hello friends, my name is Annie Mok. I am a YouTuber, as you know. That was way too loud. But it woke you up, I hope. We're back with Queer Girl Gaming with Sonic Mania. This wonderful return to form, if you're not familiar with this game, from 2017? I want to say was the year the Switch came out, or maybe 2016, early 2017. Because I know I got it when I got a Switch, which was perhaps later that year, perhaps 2018. And here we have the beautiful animation that starts off the game with a soundtrack by Hyper Potions. And this brings to mind how much I loved Sonic as a child, and how much these games and these weird comic series and the weird TV show, how much that shit all meant to me when I was so young. And just comics and stories were the greatest escape, and they still are. They still are that way. So I make comic books as well as enjoy them still, and love animation like this. The song by Hyper Potions, as I maybe mentioned. The incredible soundtrack by Lopes. I'm still not sure how to pronounce his name. I think it's Lopez. And this wonderful trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. When I was a kid, I would imagine stories for Sonic and Tails as I was playing at my cousin's house. My cousin Sam, if you're out there, call me or Facebook me, because I can't find you because you have a very common last name. And or Facebook me or anything. Maybe I can Facebook her. That would be very nice. So here we have these really fun little animations. I'll just run through these really fast because I think they're a blast. Particularly this one with the stars in the sky and the controller, the classic Genesis controller, and a TV, CRT TV. If you remember what that is, those were TVs that were all fucked up, looking and curved, like something you would see at the 60s. I'm not that old, I'm 33, born in 86. And I love this little bit of animation. The little shine on Knuckles' head and legs really makes it sing. And here's Sonic, and here's Mania mode. And as you can see, I've played this game a lot, but we're going to start off with a new game with Sonic and Knuckles. And immediately it brings me back to the 90s with this level inspired by by Sonic 3, Angel Island Zone. But it's not Angel Island Zone. It's simply a setup with the egg robots, who are going to become the hard-boiled heavies when they transform with the crystal. And all the story is told through pantomime, which is wonderful. You got these great classic silhouettes of Tails kind of like his arm behind his head. Silhouettes being very important in animation and drawings and comics and cartoons. Oh. And here, the music by Dreams Come True, which made things kind of expensive for Sega, or more expensive than they would have liked, because this music was performed by a band, a Japanese pop band, written by them. I guess obviously not performed by them because it wouldn't have been directly sampled. It would have been recreated for the Genesis sound chip. It made things expensive for them to license this stuff in later years. More expensive than they would have liked. I mean, I don't know if Sega's stingy or not. That's cool. And here's a power-up for Sonic 3, which we can kind of use to blast past this section. I don't have a lot of memories with Sonic 1. I couldn't get very far. And here we have this wonderful 3D section where I'll switch to the stick. And I remember I would sit in Sam's house, my aunt and uncle's house in Long Island, and play these games and smell the weed smoke from the garage or the other room as I was a little kid. And then Sam's little brother would argue with their dad, my uncle, about playing PlayStation or playing earlier than that, Genesis. And I would lock on Sonic and Knuckles to Sonic 2 and experience that action, which you can't on modern consoles, which is very annoying, but you can still get that from a little bit of that joy by playing Sonic Mania and playing as Knuckles in some of those stages. And this game just brings the fun back of Sonic. All the fun. And well, let's see if we can... Yeah. I'm not going to keep necessarily going for those emeralds because they're a pain in the ass to get, but... yeah, when I was a kid, when I was playing those games at my cousin's house, I would play as Sonic and Tails, and I would imagine what they'd be saying to each other. You know, Tails being like, "Oh my God, Sonic, I want to keep up," and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what I would think, but I would play as Sonic alone. I'd be like, "Tails, can't join me for this one, buddy. It's too dangerous. I gotta go it alone." Like there would be value, like story value to these minor changes. And story value to this game that I was making up just based on how the characters looked and how they expressed themselves within the game. And that little attitude of him finger wagging and smiling at you. Just this story of friendship. I loved it. I don't know, the more I do commentary about video games, especially ones that seem silly to me, the more I find myself telling kind of sincere stories. Let's actually go this direction. Yeah. Whew. Ah, come on. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. That's fine. And of course, the total thrill of getting the speed shoes or just going up one of these crazy loops is just too much fun. And later in my life, I did a bunch of comic books based off Sonic the Hedgehog, and I wanted to include in my layout here an ad or the cover for my book, my PDF zine of comics and essays and illustrations called Annie Mok Loves Videogames, which you can get for $5 it's a PDF at heyanniemok.itch.io, so you can see that address. I believe I'll have a link to it in the description as well. But if you want to check that out and buy that, that would help support the channel a lot and support me in my work. And you'll get cool comic books from, you know, fan comics that are very different from fan comics that are really different from your usual video game comic book fare. Just because they are all about memories and my strange memories surrounding Sonic the Hedgehog and other stuff, other video games. Love that druggy effect. Yeah. Ooh. Now, I've done several comics, 3 comics based on Sonic, my memories of Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog, and Knuckles especially as well. I did one comic. They're all included in Annie Mok Loves Videogames, that PDF scene that I mentioned, which is 5 doll hairs. The first one that I did was in college at art school, and I did it, God, this music rules. I watched a Twitch stream, charity Twitch stream. These bunch of trans girls were playing Sonic games, and this song came on, and they just had a dance party. It was great. But anyway, when I was in art school, oh no. Okay, let's see if we can get back up. When I was in art school, I did a comic called Blue Blue Blues, and that was a comic where I referenced, you know, blues music, like Billie Holiday I was really into at the time, and God Bless the Child being a song about like the pain of childhood and the pain of life, I guess. And I used Sonic in a 24-hour comic, or it was really like a 6-hour comic, or a 5-hour comic even, in which I just did this weird monologue. There's this weird gestural Sonic in black and white. You know, all these comics were in black and white. I love drawing in black and white. In this case, it was drawn with a flexible pen nib to make it this very gestural thing, as my friend Sean Lynch noticed and suggested that I do more of. Oh, Tails is stuck! Oh my god, Tails is so stuck. That's really funny. Chemical Plant Zone, Act 2. I think I'm gonna just go through maybe Act 2 of this zone and see how far I want to go with this vidya. I've been thinking a lot about how I make content, gaming content for YouTube, and I got a lot of good advice from Quirky Pixel, her YouTube stuff, and Ashley Christ, her YouTube stuff, and Hey Shady Lady and Bread Witchery, all great screamers and stream coaches all. Actually, let's go down here. For YouTube videos particularly, I looked at the YouTube videos that had done kind of well on my channel, particularly the Super Mario World video that I did a while ago, and I noticed the videos were kind of long, and so I made a hour and 20 half video on Mega Man X, and I just kind of hoped that it would do well based on it being long, but then I realized, I was like, oh, the quality of this Mario video was higher. It's not really quite about how long it is, it's more about it being engaging content, engaging stories and perspectives and views and thoughts, you know, all that. And then the video game is kind of icing for what you're doing. for the stories that you're telling and stuff like that. It's oh, this is the Knuckles area. That's right. So, oops. Okay. The next comic I did with Sonic is a comic I did for the anthology Chainmail Bikini, which was a comic of, you know, women and non-binary artists doing comics about games, mostly video games, but also tabletop games. And this was a really cool anthology, I thought. I'm not a big fan of most anthologies, but this one I liked quite a bit. I guess the themed anthologies that have good open themes, I think, can provide a really cool experience, as long as you're into the theme, I guess, what they're talking about. And I was certainly, you know, gaming is kind of a niche theme, and it's something I'm interested in, so I loved it. But I did this very strange comic. Oh god. So I guess you'll get to see this. I did this very strange comic called Standins, in which I drew in pencil and powdered graphite applied with a brush on vellum, this story of me as a little kid imagining on the school bus being Knuckles and dying, or having died, and having Sonic and Tails carry my body, and crying because I was a very melodramatic, very sad child, and I just wanted someone to pay attention to me, and I wanted to fucking die, honestly. Oh my god, this is not gonna work out. Oof, that's not gonna work out. You know, because I was being abused. I was, you know, at home. It was a terrible situation. A lot of bad things were going on in my life when I was a little kid, and I was, you know, closeted or whatever and everything. And I just had this strange imagination of, you know, whatever thoughts would comfort me, and that's what did. On a lighter note, I did a comic called some years after that, called Lock On Memories, about playing the iOS and Android port of Sonic 2 that allows you to use the lock-on feature that lets you play as Knuckles. And Marcel Proust, the author of In Search of Lost Time, and kinda, I guess I like this thing of like unlocking memories or unlocking hidden things, unlocking hidden content within this game, and what that meant. I thought that was cool. Let's see. Okay, so we gotta beat Dr. Eggman in round of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which was a version of Puyo Puyo, which is this puzzle game that we're playing now that came out in the 90s as a spin-off game, Sonic spin-off game, and here it's the what you gotta play to beat the boss. So, and I think, yeah, Sonic got through Act 2. Come here, keep going. Okay. So, thank you so much for joining me, friends. I think that might be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, you can always follow me on twitch.tv/HeyAnnieMok and hang out there and chat. And you can like, comment, subscribe if you want. That helps out the channel and helps me out. And if you're interested in these comics that I talked about, and you're interested in video games in general, and memory and childhood and all these kind of thoughts, you can check out heyanniemok.itch.io and see Annie Mok Loves Videogames, the book, which features a lot of fun stories and neat things. Okay, thank you. Bye.